maybe we start is yeah, the style for the overall film. We're obviously
Yes.
in an era of hairspray and lots of layers, and so
Yes.
where was your starting point for that?
So we when I got the script, I read it and I was like, "Oh, 80s fun." You know, hairspray, big hair. But then I also, or sorry, 90s. But then I was also like, okay, let me watch the documentary because it is off of a documentary. So I watched that too. So it did have like it was present in the 90s, but it had like a little bit of a dated old people that were kind of not up to date with fashion from Milwaukee. So you have like some 80s feels with some 90s in it. So we try to incorporate that with background and with like the cast as well.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so that was like really fun. By like using like bang pieces and wigs and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where were you? Because obviously you can like go on the internet and type in 80s, 90s hair and get a whole bunch of interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah,
you said you looked at the documentary, but were you also like, I always love those old like hair books that were at the salon at that time. I don't know if you,
definitely. Hair magazines from like the like late 80s definitely used that. A lot of like for me like because I was like these people aren't going to go off of Vogue and they're more down to earth Midwestern people. So I looked at yearbooks like from that time and like pulled certain images that I thought would really come across on screen, and that was really helpful
Mhm.
um for like the background and like the everyday people. Now the impersonators were a whole nother thing, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I found the yearbooks really, really helpful.
That's so interesting because that's not the first time I've heard that with, especially with like this period. And I
Hmm.
guess maybe it's just because, yeah, when we look online, it's like, it's very glam shots, but when you're looking at a yearbook, it's more real, I guess, more real
Yeah,
people.
it's real. You want it to come across as like, you want people to stay in the story. You don't want it to be too Hollywood, like you're like, oh, this is like how people really dressed and did their hair. And so I find yearbooks to really, and then I also was like Milwaukee, like I was trying to find like, because, like from Midwest to like New York City, like people do different trends at different times and aren't as up to date. And so it was really helpful, and we put together a bunch of like mood boards for, our background team or anyone that, was working on the movie so they could really stick with that look and that vibe.
And when it came to styling the hair, what sort of things were you using? Were you using modern tools or did you look for any like
Yes,
vintage? Hmm.
some of it was modern, some of it we would use like little tiny hot sticks to like come across as like some people are still wearing that perm or, that 90s 80s bang, and so we would do that, and to help with timing we would prep a bunch of bang pieces into the night like those 90s or 80s bangs, and we would have spray color and we would put them on background and spray them so that they'd all like be cohesive, and
Hmm.
really just pick out a few people where we're like, okay, we'll feature these people so that it really gives you that time period.
Did you have
So
to do anything with the color? Because I understand that like the blondes looked a little bit different back then, and
yeah,
maybe the
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we also too communicated a lot with casting as
okay,
much as we could, and we sent them our boards, we sent them like hair color notes, like the balayage and the ombre and all that stuff. Like that wasn't a thing then, so we had to
yeah,
really make sure like they weren't casting people, and if that happened to kind of trickle through, we would have like spray color so that they could spray it all dark or or what,
okay,
anything like
okay,
that, or any like create like how like the pastels and that kind of like fun colors are in now, but that wasn't a thing then. So we just had to make sure that those things didn't come across, or the long extensions, and it's a
yeah, yeah,
different
yeah,
look.
yeah.
So we really had to communicate a lot with background. I mean, and even for the concert scenes, there was different looks for that as well. More of the 90s grunge and
Yeah, actually, that made me think because it's so interesting to see the confluence, like the two eras sort of collide. This 80s glam, over the top sort of thing, and then the grunge, and you see it with the daughters, right? And
yeah.
and then that Pearl Jam concert, like, so where were you looking for that, and how were you making sure that it felt different from the other era? I mean, that's probably an
Yeah.
obvious question, but
Yeah, I mean, we were just really like, okay, we have to come across like Eddie Vedder. It's like not he's like the like 90s grunge. Like we really wanted to make sure that some of the people in background like were showing that. So we had different mood boards that we pulled for that. And in the documentary you see some of that too. Like we would screenshot some stuff from the documentary. And you saw like the grungy longer hair and I mean, creating Eddie Vedder's look for me was one of my favorites of favorite thing I did on probably the whole movie
really,
because it was a wig. So
yeah,
yeah, so like getting to like pull the images of him from that period and designing the wig and making the actor look completely different is just like why I got in this business.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Did
Yeah,
you have
so
did you have to use anything to sort of grungify the hair for Eddie or for any of the characters really
yeah,
back then?
definitely. I have an amazing wig maker here in New York. Her name's Jennifer Mullins. So I sent her the images of like we got to make sure that he has this like long curly grungy hair. So when I got the wig, it was like the texture was perfect, but I was like it needs that like almost like grease to it, right? So
Hmm.
with some trial and error, I used like a lot of like different hair oils and even just putting some like shiny pomade in the roots a little bit to look like it's unwashed a little bit and
Okay,
so
okay,
it could come
interesting.
across. Sometimes it's hard for it to like read on screen, so you kind of have to like go an extra mile to like get
Like
that
overdo
look.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So and for it to look realistic, you know.
yeah. Hmm.
So because it's like a wig, so it's not like you're not getting the natural oils from your scalp, right? So like you have to kind of add that on your own.
That makes so much sense. That,
Hmm.
like, obviously, like knowing about, like, yeah, that you just
Yeah,
don't
like
think
hair. It's
about
like
that, but
yeah, like unwashed hair for 3 days, you'll get that perfect look. But with a wig, you don't get that. So you have to add that and make
mhm.
sure that it's enough that reads on camera. So we did do a test with him a week before shooting, and it was so fun. And I think it really helped him like get into character too, which is fun and nice.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I also,
yeah,
I actually kept thinking throughout the film how much I loved um Kate Hudson's daughter's hair, the
well, yes.
curls. Was that a wig or was that her own hair
No,
or?
so that was her own hair, and Ella is like so awesome. And I was like, what do you think about wearing your hair with your actual wave? And she's like, I don't wear that a lot. And at the camera test, we did it and we diffused it, and she like really ended up loving it and was like, I want to wear this in my everyday. But we were kind of going for like Kate Hudson, almost famous vibe,
Yeah.
and we just really leaned into it, and we really enjoyed it. And I had so much fun designing all her little like up styles and the half up, half down scrunchies.
Were those also sort of yearbook inspiration? Like, was that where you're?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we were just like, let's go with it. And I really think it came across that like time period and she's beautiful wave.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, her hair is amazing.
Hmm.
Did you put color in it? Because it did have that sort of, if I can, like, I only saw it an hour ago, but like,
Yeah.
it was sort of bleached out, right, with a tint
Yeah.
or
So she came with her hair blonde, but almost had like a little strawberry blonde hint to it. And I was like, I really love this. So we didn't color it the whole movie. We just went with what she had and we just tried to go like not too glam on her, you know, because she's still from the Midwest, coming from like a very humble
yeah.
roots. So we were like, let's diffuse it. We like touch it up with the iron a little bit, and we just had a lot of fun with it. And
Mm,
went off of her outfits too, with like the Doc Martens and the tights, and
okay.
it was fun.
Yeah, it definitely started out where her hair was like down and sort of full, and then yeah, you're right. You start seeing it go up a bit, if I can remember.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
as her mom was becoming a bigger
yeah.
star, I guess, right in the town. Like we were like, okay, well, she would like get dressed up to go see her, like be her biggest fan. So we
Yeah.
we had fun leaning into that a little bit, and then the wedding, of course. wedding
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
That was my
yeah.
probably one of my favorite days.
Well, why? Oh, just because there was so much variety, or?
Yeah, it was just so much variety. Everyone was like a little like heightened in their looks, so we got to do a little bit more fun with the hair. And of course, for me, I really, really love like my favorite part of the entire movie for me was doing Babs, the Barbara Streisand
Yeah,
impersonator.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, we really got into to the whole look of that.
Yeah, I mean that scene really struck me, just the first, that opening scene with all the,
Right.
because I was thinking about, like, obviously, like, I think most, and looking at Hugh and Kate Hudson, that they probably had wigs. So you're looking at people that are wearing wigs that are supposed to look like their real hair, and the people wearing wigs where it's like very clear that it's not their real
Yes.
hair, and that's sort of,
Yes. So we were like, okay, like designing that, I really like wanted to make sure that they looked like impersonation wigs. So we almost heightened them a little bit more of like character wise. Like they're gonna like Elvis is gonna look like Elvis extreme, you know, and same with Barbara Streisand. And we really like leaned into like in the beginning scene of Barbara Streisand when she won the Oscar
Mhm.
for Funny Girl, and we were like, we're gonna do that exact style, but we're just gonna make it a little bit bigger, like a little bit more like in your face. And we did it, and we were like, this was really fun. So for the wedding, let's do another like Barbara Streisand in that period with like Funny Girl time
Yeah,
period with
yeah,
the
yeah.
flowers, and we just went with it, and we just had so much fun with it.
Aw, yeah,
Yeah,
that you could tell all of it was just like a bit bigger. Was that just
heightened.
like thicker wigs, or product or styling?
So we really made like we would get the wig and then we would build extra pieces within the wig to like so some of them were two wigs together or like the Barbara Streisand when I like made a whole piece to make the back bouffant bigger
Yeah.
and added more hair and then obviously the wedding look was like two wigs put together. It was so big. But we were like, we just gotta like go with it. A lot of teasing, a lot of hairspray, a lot of all of that. So
And
yeah.
did the color help with sort of the impersonation effect, like maybe less
Mhm.
dimension or something like that, where you're
Yeah, we
not?
definitely, I mean, I got wigs. I tried to find wigs, which is really hard nowadays because we are in a period where we have very like balayaged two-toned hair. So I did have to color some of them or spray them to get that like, that time period because you didn't have highlights and stuff then. So,
Yeah, yeah, and wigs have gotten so much, like, they're so technically beautiful now, and natural looking,
yes.
that
Yes. Yes.
um
So that was really fun. We got to be really creative with that.
yeah, and God, it was, yeah, you had Michael Jackson in there.
Oh, yeah.
uh,
Michael Jackson. Forgot about that. I remember reading it and I was like, "Oh my God, how fun is this going to be?" And
but just having them all in there, at the same time, and watching it from a nostalgia standpoint, was just really funny,
yeah.
and it was really
Yeah,
fun.
it's amazing. And yeah, I mean even like Michael Imperioli like we when he was in his impersonation look, we sprayed his hair a little bit darker to make him look like, he was leaning into his impersonation as well and it was fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
and I'm sure it helped them also, like, yeah, but again, it's this really interesting thing of, like, they're actors playing impersonate, like, they're I don't know, it's this sort of meta thing that feels
Yeah.
very interesting, that you've gotta do
Yeah.
with the beauty too.
Yeah, it's definitely like every time I talk to the actors, most of the time they're like, "Oh, once I'm in hair and makeup and costume, like it helps me so much get into like being an impersonation role." So, it's nice that we get to be part of that.
Mhm.
But it's also a lot of pressure too to make sure you get it right.
It sounds like you used a lot of spray color. Was there a
hmm
specific brand that you?
So I do for background and stuff, we would get like all of the colors for like the L'Oreal root spray. You can just do that all
Yep.
over. But in the trailer, I would use the Temp 2 airbrush gun.
Really?
Yeah, so there is a temp to airbrush for hair too, not just
Oh, I
makeup, and it's amazing. And there's like different modes you can use of like, light, medium, and dark, where you can just go like a light spray or you could really go heavy with it. So it's like easier to control. It's amazing. I use it on
had
literally
no
every,
I had no
yeah.
idea. Ugh. Sorry, isn't it like a dry shampoo as well? Like, is it like a
Yeah,
double?
it can be. Yeah. So it's like a spray, it has color in it, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
comes
yeah.
off as like a powdery. It's
Hmm.
great. And the temp 2, they just have more colors and it's just easier to control a little bit. So
Okay.
I use it on everything I do.
That's really cool. Yeah, I I remember when Temp 2 like for a consumer market was everybody was talking about it, but I hadn't heard of the hair bit. What was I gonna ask? Like most used products amongst the impersonators, would you say like
Got to be
hairspray? You got
got
to
to
be.
be glue. Got to be.
Oh, the black the yellow spray bottle.
Yeah, the got to be glue, or we used a lot of the aerogel. It's like an aerogel hard hairspray just to lock that style in, because they were
Okay,
performing too. We really wanted to make sure they were set in place.
okay,
So, um, but yeah, those were our two like main products that we used a lot with the impersonators.
okay.
And then with Ella, with
Hmm.
her curly hair, I used the whole like Bumble and Bumble curly hairline.
Oh,
The
okay,
curl
okay.
cream,
Yeah.
the purple line, I forget exactly, but that worked really nice with her hair. Um, yeah, trying to think
And
who
you
else.
a diffuser, like like a
Yeah.
traditional blow dryer
Dif
diffuser. Or,
yeah, I used the Dyson
yeah,
um diffuser with her
yeah.
hair.
I
Yeah.
think I have it. I literally, I'm at my my makeup table. I think I literally have it right
Yep,
here.
that's it. Yes. So the Dyson diffuser, and then I would touch up any curls that, needed, some touching up with like an inch. Like I would use two different size irons. I think it was like an inch and a half or something like that.
Okay, very
Touched
cool.
anything up because she would straighten her hair a lot in her normal life. So sometimes the curl pattern and some of them would be off. So I just touch it up with that,
Okay,
and
okay.
yeah. So
It's so funny over all my years of reporting on beauty, like whether it's backstage at a runway show, got to be like those got to be products are just they're so good for professional use.
I know.
Why is it, yeah, in your opinion, I'm just interested.
I just think that we are in a place with beauty right now where everything's a bit effortless. So nothing's like when we use products now, it's more about like I feel like a lot of the times like healthy condition to the hair, a lot of like, oils and leave-in conditioners and stuff like that. But everything's like movable, put your hands through it, flexible. So got to be when you're working on TV and film or fashion, like, and you really are doing something when you need to lock it in place, like got to be is that line that just doesn't change. It's like that's the line that it's going to do that job. And a lot of these like newer brands don't make that because there's no draw for it, for like everyday hair. So it's that line that you're like, we know that this works.
Did you use it on the like on the extras for the sort of 80s nine like Milwaukee
Absolutely.
hair?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's a good price point too, where you can buy
Yeah.
and you're doing 200 background, like that
Okay.
it's going to be set.
Oh, how
So,
funny. Yeah, the amount I've got to be, I feel like I've breathed in over the years. Like
oh
you just
yeah.
know this.
Between that and the color spray, when I wrapped that movie, I was like, I was like, I've breathed in so much aerosol,
Oh
but
my
worth
gosh.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was worth it.
I did a recent story on another like 80s era hair. Is there anything that you sort of 80s, early 90s like took from took from those styles that you did that like maybe you're like, oh, this is an interesting technique or something that like I might apply into modern day hair?
In modern
Or
day hair.
yeah.
That's good. It's a good question. Definitely not the bangs. Um, but you know what? Like there's something to that whole like 90s blowout that's like back in with like the bent in ends, like the bouncy
Yep.
90s blowout that to me is like so beautiful and so timeless that I'm glad that people are wearing it again.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like after that movie, I'm like, that's how I do my hair all the time now.
Yeah, yeah,
Even the
yeah.
Velcro rollers, like the bounce, blowing your hair out, putting in Velcro rollers and just having the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
voluminous
Yeah.
blowout.
There were
Yeah,
some, yeah, the bang. I'm assuming there were some really like fun bang shapes that you were
absolutely.
like the what was it, the mall bangs or the flock of seagull bangs or whatever they were. Like,
Yes. We were like, what's gonna come across to the audience that you see this period? And when we were like breaking it all down, we're like, it's the bangs. These are
mhm.
really where we need to focus is on the bangs.
Well, you can also, I guess, like pull the hair up and then still have the
And
bangs,
bang,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like even with like the funeral scene or, the wedding scene when we had more like event hair, like we were like, well, you could still put it up, but leave the bang and it's that period. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Just thought real quick for the yearbooks for those event scenes. Were you ever looking at like prom hair, like 80s?
absolutely. Absolutely. Like our whole boards were prom hair and wedding hair, like wedding magazines, stuff like that. The wedding day, like we shot that for like I think 2 or 3 days. And it was a busy day because we had a lot of cast that was in there, but it was so fun. Like even the people that we hired to do background, they're like, "Thank you for hiring us for this because this is so fun." Because we don't it's not every movie you get to do this type of stuff. So we really leaned into it. We were like, we are gonna like even with Ella's hair, I was like, okay, what did girl do for prom or like homecoming? And that's how we picked out her style.
Oh,
And
cool.
with the curls on top of her head with the two pieces. It was so
Yeah,
fun.
I do think that's like, yeah, I think that's a real marker of like what I think of my prom hair from like the very
Absolutely.
early 2000s and how
Absolutely.
indicative that is of the era. So,
Uh-huh. I was like texting my mom. I'm like, can you send me like my yearbook pictures and prom pictures? Because I need
yeah.
inspiration. And she was sending that to me. And it was awesome because it was helpful. I mean, even I was like, can you send me like in the like mid 90s, like photos? Because I was like,
Hmm.
I want to know how your hair was. Because I'm from Ohio. So like I'm from the Midwest too. So I did some research that way too. I was like, send me families like because my mom loved taking pictures of us as kids. So I was like, send all of it. And I used it on some of our mood boards because it was helpful,
Yeah, 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 for
even with the
sure.
men's hair too, like the haircuts and the
Yeah.
facial, so it was fun.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
Alicia, thank you so much. I really
of
like
course.
I enjoyed the movie itself as a film, but like like just the beauty aspect of it, I really had a fun time. Like it looked
Oh,
like you had
good.
fun doing it,
Oh,
like
so much. We enjoyed it so much, and I can't wait to see it. Christmas Day.